Hi, my name is Jeff Bartholomew. I'm also known as Jeff Price. For most of my career, I've worked in broadcasting, in radio and in television. I've worked as a radio presenter, as manager of radio stations. I also set up a radio station for young children and families. In 2016, I was diagnosed with something called hydrocephalus. And in 2019, that's when we realized that there was a real issue with my breathing and also swallowing. I have had occasions where I can't swallow at all. I would even if I would try to wash something down with water, I'd be like drowning. It's a really nasty experience. In 2021, late 2021, I was diagnosed with severe eosinophilia. This journey has included a diagnosis of severe eosinophilic asthma. I've had lots of tests and I'm currently receiving biologics treatment. I started with mepolizumab biologics in 2022 for 1 year, but that treatment failed. So I've just started on Fasenra, which is another biologics. And according to the professor who sort of oversees this treatment, this is the last chance corral. The medical team have also just started to come around to thinking perhaps this is not severe asthma, this is something else. So that's a little part of my journey. It's been really frustrating. It's meant that my broadcasting has come to an end because I've had so many issues with breathing. I've had several near misses since 2016. In 2020, I had something called silent chest. It's where the airways close completely, so no air really passes through. And that was a really scary moment. As a result of that, I've had issues with anxiety, which I think are sort of under control, but it's the not knowing and this condition sort of ongoing, and we don't seem to have come any closer to really finding out what's what. I'm married. I have a grown-up daughter, 10-year-old son. It's been a very challenging time for them. It's been very challenging for my wife. Being a witness to a patient going through something like this is often more difficult for them than the patient themselves. So each patient is different, unique in what they may be going through and what they may be experiencing. I haven't met anybody in person who's experienced this, and I would really like to. I think that's a really important aspect of someone's journey. If they can share experiences and perhaps learn from one another, I think that's really important. And what I've also learned is that this is all very new to the EOS community. I think that's something that we all share. I suppose it's a ray of hope, but I certainly would like to meet with others. When I started my biologics treatment, the respiratory department suggested that I could meet up with some of the other patients receiving the same treatment, but it never happened. Mepolizumab, we were hoping would sort things out, but my body did not respond to mepolizumab. So I started on Fasenra, benralizumab, it's called, in February of 2023. I've had 2 doses so far. You have an injection. It's a bit like an EpiPen. At the beginning of the treatment, you have 1 injection per month, but then I think after several months, you then have an injection every 8 weeks. One thing that I've learned as well, that no matter what you might be going through, there is always somebody just around the corner who may be going through a much worse experience. And I think when I discovered EOS Network, that's where I really found something positive. To be able to hear from someone else who's struggling with a chronic condition, their struggles can be twice as hard. You just never know. I think the one thing that I learned also through my diagnosis of hydrocephalus, where the doctors told me that I could do absolutely nothing but lie still on a bed until I had surgery. I began to appreciate listening to the birds singing and nature and the surroundings and getting connected to what's around us. And I'm actually really grateful for that experience. It was quite profound, and I think it's made me a better person. The frustrating thing with that is that it happens occasionally. It doesn't happen all the time. So there isn't a pattern to the swallowing or not being able to swallow, which is frustrating, because if it was happening every day, the doctors would be able to see it. The medical teams would be able to say, oh, yeah, this maybe is what's causing that. By lunchtime, by this evening, I could have had an episode, maybe not. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. So that's kind of frustrating. But I'm also in this journey now of just have my second dose of Fasenra for 3 weeks now. Today, I've been feeling very unwell and just exhausted. When people ask now how I'm feeling, I would say, to be honest with you, I'm struggling. And I think it takes quite a lot to say that. So I discovered EOS Network sometime in 2022, and it was like a moment. I was, wow, the information that is available on the website, I really kind of related to it. And so I contacted Amanda, the CEO of the EOS Network, and here we are today. Despite the challenges, I find a sense of humour helps, and a smile goes a long way. Don't give up. As frustrating as things can get, there are people who can help, and there are people you can talk to. And I think the best thing a person could ever do is ask for help. Some find that challenging, but actually it's really important. And in a community like this, when you get to hear some other stories, even the times we spend in hospital, there could be some funny moment that you can share. It's not all bad. And there are people who care about you. So, just bear that in mind. Keep going. My lifelong dream was to set up a radio channel media network for children. So I had to step away from my lifelong ambition, my lifelong dream, and that was really difficult. And I really struggled with that for a while. But then my wife would say, but you need to focus on getting better. And since then, I've actually been able to help some others with their radio careers and give some advice and what have you. I just haven't been able to, there hasn't been a period long enough for me to say, yeah, I can commit to being a broadcaster again, or I can record some of this and that because of my breathing and my coughing and, so I've tried to focus on sharing some of my experience professionally, and then also through the medical journey as well. You know what? I think for people to have the opportunity to speak and to share some of their journey, there's some healing in that as well. As we're speaking, the sun is beginning to shine. So there you are. There's something else to smile about.